Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And that breaking news, police are asking for your help to find this 3-year-old girl at the center of an Amber Alert. We'll tell you where she was last seen.
And it's another nice start out there this morning with temperatures in the 50s. You may need to grab a jacket heading out the door.
And thousands of Wake County students could be going to a new school next year. How parents can share their feedback today about the reassignment plan. Hello, everyone. It is 4:30. We're here to get you ready for work or for school or whatever you need to do this morning. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Great to have you along here. Yeah, some of those folks waking up and hearing that news, their eyes will pop open just a little bit, but we've become accustomed to this over the years. We'll get more into that in just a moment, but Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, that chill just like yesterday when you step out today.
Yeah, that's right. I did come in a little sweater this morning since I had a short sleeve dress on, but it feels great out there, really. Our skies are mainly clear, 57 is our temperature, and 54 is our dew point, so one more day with a nice low humidity, and not just one more, but we'll see several more of those over the next several days. 50 in Roxborough right now, 54 Rocky Mount, 54 Southern Pines, 57 in Fayetteville. These temperatures are very similar to yesterday, so if you were chilly yesterday, you might want an extra layer. If you were comfortable, just do what you did yesterday. We take a look at our hour-by-hour forecast, and we'll hold it in the 50s this morning and then climb into the mid-80s this afternoon. Very similar to yesterday. We may also see some of that smoky haze that we saw yesterday as well. Tropical storm Francine is moving to the northwest at 5 miles per hour. This has been a very slow-moving storm, but it has definitely intensified significantly since yesterday, looking at 65-mile-per-hour winds, and it still looks like it's going to make landfall most likely in Louisiana. Look at how it intensifies, though. It's Category 2 by tomorrow morning with 100-mile-per-hour winds before it makes landfall. So definitely looking at storm surge issues here along the Gulf Coast in Louisiana, as well as the potential for some wind damage. It's going to fizzle out as it moves up the Mississippi Valley, and then that's going to be an issue for folks there in terms of rain. But for us, we're looking at very little rain out of the system Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can see anywhere from nothing in our eastern counties to a quarter of an inch down to the southwest. We'll walk you through the timeline when we'll see the most of it coming up.
Good morning, I'm Chris Lovingood here in the WRAL Live Center. About 5 hours ago, you may have been watching our newscast at 11 o'clock trying to get more information about this situation. We had this right before we left the show, but there's an Amber Alert being issued for this missing 3-year-old, Chloe Marlowe. This is coming from Boiling Springs Lake. Police actually issued this around 11:20-ish last night. And Chloe is believed to be with her grandmother, Jamie Lee Marlowe, who is 49 years old. Those two were last seen leaving from South Shore Drive late afternoon yesterday. That was around 4:30. And they were last seen in a red 2018 Kia Sportage with the NC plate ID PMN 9366. Take one quick, again, look at this, a good look. Investigators still trying to locate missing Chloe Marlowe. If you know anything, you are encouraged to contact the Boiling Springs Lake Police in Brunswick County.
Or with an Amber Alert, you can also call 911. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump will meet tonight in Philadelphia for their first and perhaps their only debate. Aides say Harris has spent the last several days prepping with her team in Pittsburgh and holding mock debates. Harris is also leaning on advice from President Biden and Hillary Clinton, hoping to benefit from their experiences debating Trump. Meanwhile, the former president is preparing by having meetings with advisors and getting foreign policy coaching from allies. You can watch coverage of tonight's debate right here on WRAL beginning at 8.
And here are a few things to know about the debate. It'll be 90 minutes long. There'll be no audience. The moderators will be the only ones asking questions. The candidates will not be allowed to ask each other questions. Their microphones will be muted when the other candidate has the floor.
North Carolina's mail-in ballots will be delayed for weeks at a cost to taxpayers of up to $1 million. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the State Board of Elections. And Kelsey, this comes after a state Supreme Court ruling late last night.
Renee, it does. So your mail-in ballot was supposed to be sent out on Friday, but now the staff here at the State Board of Elections are going to be forced to reprint millions of ballots. Your mail-in ballot could be delayed for weeks. This after yesterday's state Supreme Court ruling. They decided all mail-in ballots should be reprinted without RFK Jr.'s name on it, costing up to $1 million taxpayer dollars. Kennedy dropped out of the presidential race after the ballots had already been printed. A trial court judge ruled against reprinting ballots on Thursday. It was sent to the Court of Appeals the next day. That court ruled that the ballots should be reprinted. So last night's Supreme Court decision upholds that. We're working to find out the exact timeline on when you could receive your ballot in the mail. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
We are working to learn more this morning about a report of an armed robbery at a Raleigh shopping center. It happened last night at the Dollar Tree on Western Boulevard near Buck Jones Road. About 8 Raleigh police cruisers were there when the WRAL breaking news tracker arrived around 10:30. At least one ambulance was also outside that store. We've made calls to Raleigh police to find out what happened and whether anyone was hurt. Later this week, Vice President Harris will resume her battleground tour in North Carolina. She'll be in our state to kick off her New Way Forward tour. Harris is expected to hold rallies in Charlotte and Greensboro.
Covering Wake County, families who live in the southern part of the county may be sending their kids to different schools next year. Those parents can take part in an information session today. This map shows 4 new schools opening in southern Wake County next year. There are 3 elementary schools and 1 high school. The school board revealed the first draft of next year's enrollment plan at its meeting yesterday. It involves shuffling students from 22 elementary schools, 12 middle schools, and 6 high schools. They say it addresses overcrowding and shortens some bus routes. The virtual info session today will cover Felton Grove High and other related proposed changes. This will take place from 6 to 7:30 p.m.
And today we also will get an update about what Raleigh leaders plan to do with the old DMV headquarters on New Bern Avenue. The city asked hundreds of people for feedback on what to do with that historic site. It plans to demolish the old DMV buildings late this year or early next year. City Council will give an update on the project, including next steps, at its work session this afternoon. They'll also give an update on Duplex Village and Zach's Grocery. All 3 are projects intended to support the city's bus rapid transit investments on New Bern.
This morning, Tropical Storm Francine is expected to become a hurricane this morning in the Gulf of Mexico. Louisiana is under a state of emergency ahead of the storm's arrival. Many schools and universities in that area are closed today. This was the scene yesterday across many parishes, people lining up to fill sandbags to protect their homes. The storm is expected to make landfall tomorrow as a hurricane along the Louisiana coast. There could also be life-threatening storm surge in parts of Texas as well.
Aaron Rodgers was in for the New York Jets. Christian McCaffrey was out for the San Francisco 49ers. He sat out with a calf injury on Monday Night Football. McCaffrey's backup, Jordan Mason, he had a big game in his place. Got into the end zone there for a touchdown in the third quarter. Rodgers had some success throwing the ball as well, including this 36-yard touchdown pass to Allen Lazard. That's his first TD pass as a Jet, but it wasn't enough. The 49ers ran away with this one, 32-19.
More than a dozen wildfires are burning right now in California. The new airport wildfire that 0% contained this morning, and the community is being evacuated.
Plus, the push from doctors to get children vaccinated after a case of measles is confirmed in North Carolina in 6 years.
And here's a live look at Wilson, another fall-like morning in North Carolina with those crisp temperatures. How many more we can expect before the mugginess returns?
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
441, and it's a nice cool start out there this morning. 57 in Durham, Raleigh, and in Fayetteville. Temperatures, of course, will feel comfortable again today. We'll climb into the mid-80s, but our humidity stays nice and low. So just really nice late summer, early fall type weather. Let's take a look at some of those temperatures. As you're heading out the door, you might want to grab a jacket. I did have a little light jacket on when I came in this morning, and that was definitely comfortable. Temperatures are in the mid-50s all across the viewing area. So nice fall feel. Perfect for running. Any sort of exercise you like to do in the morning, oof, it doesn't get much better than this. And then lunchtime, 78, and then highs this afternoon will climb into the mid-80s. And that's going to feel a little on the warm side, but our humidity stays low, so it'll feel fairly comfortable. We'll talk more about our tropics coming up in just a few minutes.
SpaceX is attempting another shot at getting Polaris Dawn off the ground this morning. It's a mission that'll send 4 civilians to space. And here's a live look at the Kennedy Space Center right now in Florida. You can see that spacecraft just waiting for its chance to launch. It was originally set to take flight about 3:40 this morning, about an hour ago. But SpaceX opted to aim for a later launch window that starts at 5:23 a.m. We'll keep tabs on that. Previous attempts to launch this mission were delayed last month because of technical issues and weather delays. The same problem with the weather this morning. That 4-person private citizen crew includes a billionaire, a former Air Force pilot, and 2 SpaceX engineers. They'll spend 5 days in space. They'll be sent into the radiation belts. The crew will also perform a historic spacewalk.
The trial for the man accused of killing 4 college students in Idaho will be moved to a new location. A judge ruled Monday that he didn't believe Brian Koberger would be able to get a fair trial in Moscow, Idaho, where the murders happened in November 2022. The trial is due to begin next June. No word on where it will take place.
Another wildfire is exploding in the hills of Southern California. The airport fire, it's called. It's burning in Trabuco Canyon, not far from Irvine. It erupted yesterday afternoon near an airport for remote-controlled model airplanes. It quickly grew to more than 2,000 acres, forcing mandatory evacuation orders for several communities. This is just one of more than a dozen active fires across California right now.
Some business owners and people who live near the Red Hat Amphitheater in Raleigh are raising their concerns about plans to move it. Raleigh City Council will vote next week on a plan to move the amphitheater a block south. That's to make room for an expansion of the Raleigh Convention Center. The city hosted an open house late last night, to give people a chance to ask questions about the plan. Some are worried about plans to permanently close South Street between McDowell and Dawson to make room for the move. They say that could hurt affordable housing and choke off accessibility to downtown.
I'm frustrated because the whole community did not hear about this until May. Something of this magnitude should have had community engagement for quite a period of time.
Some business owners say if the closing of South Street is what's needed to keep the amphitheater downtown, then it's worth it.
A Raleigh man charged with child abuse will appear in court today. Records show Matthew McLaughlin punched his 10-year-old in the back and slapped the side of the head. The child suffered cuts on the face, head, and back. Investigators say McLaughlin also tormented his child for at least half an hour. He's due in court this afternoon at 1:30.
Chris Levinger back here in the WRAL Live Center. We're learning from Kentucky law enforcement that this man right here, Joseph Couch, the man who is the subject of a manhunt, he texted someone, quote, he vowed to kill a lot of people. That happened on Saturday, according to investigators. Before he opened fire on an interstate, at least 12 vehicles were shot at and at least 5 people were injured. The reports were first made at 5:30 on Saturday, and here we are days later, and Couch still has not been captured. Investigators last said they believed that he was in a remote area covered in woods and warned people to be on watch for him. They did also find his vehicle, an AR-15, ammunition, but not Jason Couch.
Jury selection will resume this morning in the trial of 3 former Memphis police officers accused in the beating death of Tyree Nichols. Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith have pleaded not guilty to charges against them. At least 7 potential jurors were dismissed yesterday. The judge says jury selection could take weeks, saying it will be difficult to find jurors who have not seen the video of Tyree's attack or are not familiar with the case. Nichols died January of 2023, 3 days after a traffic stop. Officials say body camera video shows the officers tasing, pepper spraying, and beating him.
A confirmed case of the measles has been detected in North Carolina. It's the first case in our state since 2018. State officials say a child from Mecklenburg County was likely exposed while traveling outside the country. State health officials say you can get measles just by being in a room where an infected person has been, even up to 2 hours after that person has left. This new case has doctors emphasizing the importance of getting your child vaccinated against diseases like measles.
This is one of the greatest examples of a wonderful argument for staying completely up to date on vaccines, and that is these incidents don't have to cause alarm or panic because your child's already protected.
Symptoms of measles include rash, high fever, cough, runny nose, red watery eyes, tiny spots inside, white spots inside your mouth. Now, traveling to areas where there are known measles cases make you more at risk of getting it.
It is 4:47. When we have weather like this, no reason to travel. Just stay here at home and enjoy this gorgeous weather. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We still have a few more days of this.
We do. This is a reason why so many people want to live here, because we have so many of these beautiful days in the fall and in the spring. And, our winter's not too bad either. Some of the summer gets a little hot. We definitely had our hot days this past summer, that's for sure. 57 as you're headed out the door right now. Skies are mainly clear. This is a live look at downtown Raleigh from the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences. Our dew point's 54, so that's nice and low. Just a very comfortable start. Beautiful at lunch today. If you have the opportunity to eat your lunch outside, you want to mark that on your calendar for sure. Temperatures are in the 50s really all across the viewing area. 57 Durham and Fayetteville, 54 in Rocky Mount, and 50 degrees right now in Roxborough. Here's a look at the big picture. Of course, we're tracking Tropical Storm Francine, likely to become a hurricane, potentially Category 2, making landfall here in Louisiana. So it is likely to be a storm surge, a heavy rain, and wind issue for folks who are living there. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that coming up. In the meantime, this high pressure system is in control of our weather, and it brought us some beautiful weather the last several days, and it will continue to help to bring us some more beautiful weather. High pressure systems rotate clockwise, and they also have sinking air. That sinking air is drying, and that clockwise flow helps to keep all this moisture down in the Gulf. But eventually that high is going to work its way eastward, and we will see that storm moving northward. That high will actually be one of the steering mechanisms, though, for the storm, and that will actually keep it, for the most part, back to the west across the Mississippi Valley, instead of allowing it to move closer to us. So we're not looking at much of an impact at all from Francine. It is mostly going to be Gulf Coast and Mississippi Valley. Our temperatures will start to warm up a little bit, though, as that high starts to move away from us, looking at mid-60s by Friday morning compared to mid-50s that we're seeing this morning. Our afternoon highs will start to fall a little bit, 83 Wednesday, down to 81 on Friday. But generally, we're looking at some very comfortable conditions, especially today and tomorrow. We start to see our dew points climbing, and that's going to make it feel more humid by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So a little more moisture working its way in, but not enough for very much rain. Look at our Weather Watcher photo from Lisa Pope in Roxborough. That is a gorgeous one. Look at that beautiful sunset. We had some pretty sunrises and sunsets yesterday. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers. We would love to see what's happening in your backyard. Maybe you're headed to the Bulls today. Oh, great homestand starting today. Last homestand of the season, 79 for today, 80 Wednesday, and 77 Thursday for those games. We may end up with a little bit of smoke from the wildfires. You can see some of that showing up there on the model, but it's not likely to have much of an air quality issue for us. You just may look a little hazy in the sky. We do have a small chance for rain on Saturday and Sunday, but it's a really small chance, like we talked about at the beginning of the newscast. We'll talk more about the timeline, though, coming up.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Princess Kate is talking about her battle with cancer. We'll tell you what she is saying she's focusing on right now that she's completed her chemotherapy treatment.
And a beloved holiday event is coming back to PNC Arena when tickets go on sale for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra concert. Princess Kate says she has completed her chemotherapy treatment and is looking forward to returning to public life. The announcement came in a video shared by the royal family. The video shared rare moments of Kate and her family. She says she's taking every day as it comes and is looking forward to being back at work and more public events. Kate publicly announced her cancer diagnosis in March. It came after months of speculation because she was out of the spotlight. She still has not revealed what type of cancer she is fighting.
This morning, a groundbreaking is happening for the newest medical school in North Carolina. Methodist University and Cape Fear Valley Health System partnered to make this happen. It's being built on the campus of Cape Fear Valley Medical Center in Fayetteville. Methodist University will lease that space from the hospital and run the medical school there. The mission is to graduate doctors who focus on providing better health care for rural and underserved populations.
We're getting a first look at a new Dust Bowl era thriller, and Donald Glover postpones the rest of his North American tour. Here's Rick Damigella with the Hollywood Minute.
The gray man is everywhere. You can't keep him out.
Sarah Paulson takes on the horrors hiding in the dust. This is your first look at the Depression-era thriller Hold Your Breath, which sees the actress protecting her family from a sinister presence. The film arrives on Hulu on October 3rd. Donald Glover postpones the remaining dates of his final tour as Childish Gambino. The musician announced on social media that he is going to take time to focus on his physical health and that all dates will be rescheduled.
Okay, let's see if we can get through one of these skits.
Sketches? Baby, please.
Okay, you ready, camera one? Oh!
SNL's rough start is revealed. The upcoming comedy Saturday Night follows the hurdles the legendary sketch comedy series faced, getting ready for its premiere broadcast in 1975. Fans will see how it all came together when the movie opens wide on October 11th. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
The Trans-Siberian Orchestra is bringing its version of Christmas classics back to PNC Arena this holiday season. Oh yeah, you know the song. It's been part of the group's The Lost Christmas Eve tour. The show will be on Wednesday, December 18th. Tickets go on sale Friday morning at 10.
Distinctive sound there. Police need your help finding a 3-year-old girl at the center of an Amber Alert, who police say she was last seen with.
A plan to reassign students could affect thousands of families in Wake County, where parents can go today to get more information.